Hello, and thanks for clicking over to watch this short video. I have something really special to share with you today, and it's only going to be very limited. I'm going to only allow 8 to 10 people to join this program. But for the last couple of years, I've been performing workshops for organizations to teach them how to create a culture of execution in their company. And the companies I've worked with have just had phenomenal results in overcoming challenges in their business. In my book that's going to be out in the beginning of 2013, I refer to these challenges as ledges. And for a small business or micro business, these challenges or ledges are often amplified because there are obviously fewer people to spread the workload around. But they could range from a number of things, from profitability, sales, customer service. But it gets a little bit more personal even in a small or micro business, because it goes to the business owner. It could be time management, could be the ledge that you're stuck on. It could be focus, indecision, or even passion. Passion is a huge one. Many people start with a business with passion, struggle with it for years to try to get over the ledges that are holding them back from greater success, and they lose that passion. So years ago, I had a company, and I started wondering if there was a relationship between all these different kinds of problems in business. I had a lot of colleagues in the industry, and they had similar problems, and I began to just gorge information. I researched, I studied, I read just a ton of books, I interviewed people, and about 3 or 4 years after all this research, I finally realized that there actually was a relationship. And that common problem was execution. So let me explain a little bit about execution. You see, execution can wrap around every part of a company. It wraps around the sales, the marketing, the operations, the customer service, implementation. And companies that do not have a defined execution structure within their organization are the ones that have trouble getting over these ledges. In fact, with a small company, when they get on these ledges, all these other little problems pile up until the ledge just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until they're just finally stuck on it for years. And I've actually seen companies be stuck on these ledges for years, and it's very unfortunate. But when I researched execution, I found something interesting. You probably already read this as I was talking, but 70% of strategic business failures occur due to poor execution. When I read that, I kind of stepped back and thought, why does that seem familiar? Something is weird. And so I started looking around, and I found another statistic that says 70% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. Wow. 70% of strategic business failures occur due to poor execution, and 70% fail within the first 5 years. There's a huge link between those two problems, and execution is a huge, massive issue. In another study, CEOs were asked what their greatest challenges were. And the very first challenge that they chose was excellence in execution. The second greatest challenge, was consistent execution. This wasn't an execution survey. And everybody chose execution as the top number 1 and number 2 items that they were struggling with. So lack of execution is what holds many companies back. And it causes a lot of them to struggle and ultimately fail, unfortunately. And so I started really doing a lot of research and created a model that charges up organizations and creates this culture of getting things done, a culture of execution. And I started testing this out at various organizations, and I got it to a point where it's just phenomenal. I'm having phenomenal results. Let me give you an example of a company that recently went through our workshop. This was a company that was operating at a negative 15%. They were losing money. They were basically paying for the privilege of doing business, and this had been going on for some time. So we scheduled a workshop with their organization. Within the very first quarter, they cut 2% of their budget. They had already been cutting everything they could for 6 months. And the office manager at this point told me, I can't cut anymore. They ended up cutting 2% of their budget. They sold $122,500 in projects and $8,500 in monthly recurring revenue. In in that 3 months, which was a huge increase over what they were previously doing, and they've consistently done that since then. Their response time went, this was a technology company that took care of computers. The response time for their clients went from 2.5 hours to 1 hour. So they were not only selling more, they were providing better service. They completed a massive, and when I say massive, I mean this was huge, standardization project across all clients. It had hundreds and hundreds of tasks. And they basically added all these hundreds and hundreds of tasks, and they cut their tickets by a half. But that's not the biggest thing. By the 4th month, they surpassed their annual goal of reaching 10% profitability. See, they were operating at negative 15%, and they set an annual goal that said by this time next year, we're going to reach 10% profitability. They had reached that by the 4th month. By the 5th month, they surpassed their profitability they surpassed 15% profitability. That's a 30% profitability gain in 5 months, and actually happened a little under 5 months. So it's a massive, huge success, and I'm seeing this happen over and over and over again, and I want to share with you. But the problem is, I've had a lot of organizations come to me that are small organizations that are the 1 to 3 size person companies. And this organization, or this workshop, is really meant for a little bit larger organizations, 10 employees more or less, that have multiple departments. And I didn't have a workshop format for these 1 to 3 person companies, and frankly it wasn't, I was turning companies back. But for the last 4 or 5 months, I've been working on a new model for a very small business, for a 1 to 3 person type organization. And so what I've done is I've designed a workshop, and I'm only going to allow 8 to 10 companies to beta test this program. And so to get in this program, you have to be a small 1 to 3 person technology company. If you are a little bit bigger and you want to apply, you're welcome to apply, and I'll let you know if we'll let you in. These companies, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a location that's central to everybody, somewhere in the United States or North America, and we'll meet there for a weekend to go through these processes. But there's 3 things that you have to have. You have to have a passion for what you do, or if you feel like you've lost your passion, you have to have a desire to get that passion back. I've actually gone through this workshop with some small companies while I was testing it, and one company in particular, they didn't have the passion anymore, but within the first half a day of the workshop, they finally realized what their passion was that was missing. You have to have a desire for making money, and you have to be open to learning how to improve, because this is stuff that what I teach in these execution workshops, you may have heard parts of it in various locations, but it's putting them all together into a specific process and model that makes powerful things happen. And here's what you get for being a part of the workshop. So you get 2 full days of off-site instruction and one-on-one consulting with me. This is going to occur over a weekend. It's going to and one thing I missed too is I'm doing this workshop only for technology companies. If you are not a technology company and you're interested in the workshop, and you may know some other colleagues throughout the nation that you could put together a group, let me know and I'll work out a special deal for you. But what you get is 2 full days of off-site instruction and one-on-one consulting with me. I charge for under 10, and I usually limit it at about 6 to 10 for this price, is $5,000. You get a free copy of my book, which will be out next year, and I'll give you an advance copy of that. And I actually don't even have it on here, but I have another book, a third book that I'll also give you. It's called Pound Execution. It's 140 ways that reinforce this execution methodology. And I'll give you a free copy of the Revitalize Workshop Study Guide. This is goes into detail about the process, and has worksheets that we'll go through in the workshop, and you can do throughout after the workshop as well. You also get 12 months of one-on-one coaching. This is a 7,800 value. This is 12 months of weekly coaching with me. I've never offered something like that. It's a huge time commitment for me. but I want you to be a success. I want this program to be a success for you. And this is one-on-one coaching. This isn't group coaching. This isn't email coaching. This is one-on-one coaching via phone or Skype or whatever. I'll also be available via email and other methods as needed. I'm also going to form a special execution peer group with the members of this group, and so it'll be 12 months of a tech execution peer group that comprises of only workshop attendees in the technology industry. So you're going to be working with peers in different geographies that you can consult with, help with, share ideas, thoughts, and help to keep each other accountable during the process. And then I'll be there to guide the group, guide individuals, and make sure that the process is successful for every company that's in the group. You'll also be receiving a customized quarterly execution plan. This will be done actually during the workshop, and if we don't complete it during the workshop for every individual, we'll follow up with the weeks after the workshop and make sure it gets done. This is a hugely important piece of information that will help you launch the new methodology, the new structure in your company, and make you successful and more profitable. And then I don't want you to worry about researching hotels and restaurants and this and that. So all you have to do is get there, and I'll cover the hotel and food. And all of these things come out to $18,459.90. This includes all of these things. And for those that have done the workshop, they know that I make myself available, and I make myself I want you to be a success. So I have two options for this. One option is $1,895, or if you want to make it in two payments of $995. So you can see this is hugely discounted. I'm not really making much money on this. I am doing this because I want to perfect this program, and I want to make sure that you are a success, and that you can have this miracles of success and profitability in your organization. I also have I'm offering a referral fee for signups. It's $250 off for any colleague you have that you want to bring on into the group. You can look at the video down below, or look at the information down below. I have some testimonials and a sign-up form. If you're sitting on toddnielsen.com, if you're on YouTube or something else, go to toddnielsen.com/tech-execution, and you can access the order form and get going. I'm only accepting 8 to 10 people. I imagine this is going to fill up quick. I actually already have 2 sign-ups, and I haven't even launched the program yet. So there's really only 6 to 8 of these slots left. So please hurry and fill out this form if you're interested. I can't talk now. And contact me via the contact form on the website if you would like to ask me some questions and get further information. Thank you very much.